It's the first sunny day of January because it has been raining for what feels like weeks, and I'm here on Dartmoor with Winnie and we're going to do some engraving today. Dartmoor's my favourite place in the world because I grew up on the edge of Dartmoor and I just love it here. It just feels like being at home. Yeah, I've bought a very, very small block and I'm probably going to do a reduction print. I bought my Pookie press here and then I've got all my tools in my bag. I found a flat bit of granite to work on because the ground's just so sodden that I don't want to sit on it for 5 hours. So yeah, I'm going to get going and choose what view I'm going to look at. I'm in like the shadow of Hound Tor, but yeah, I'm going to have a little think. I've chosen to concentrate on this view because it is just beautiful and all the colours are lovely. This is all I'm going to do for the first layer. Normally I'd add in some marks into the landscape, not just the sky, to leave bits of white when I print, but I'm going to try and not do that today and then see how it looks. I decided it was too wet and there wasn't really a flat enough place to work. So I've come back to the boot of the car, which is only like a 3-minute walk from where I was engraving. So I'm going to print from the boot today, and between each layer I'll go back and engrave where I was sat originally. I just felt like it was going to be a bit miserable getting that wet. Already I can just tell this is so much easier than doing it just straight on the ground. In the summer when the ground's dry it's okay, but yeah, when it's like this just everything ends up getting wet and it's not as fun. So I've just got a wooden frame that I made so that this cardboard template sits nicely just below the top of the block. And I've got this cardboard template so that every time I lay the paper in here, hopefully it lines up the same every time and it allows me to do a reduction print. And I'd also use it on a normal print, just so that the print is in the middle of the paper each time. So I've cut my paper to size already and I'm just placing it in the template there. So there is the first proof. I'm not going to be too fussy about it because it's like a sketch really. Like, even though it's a reduction print, this is like sketching for me. So it's a bit dark at the edges of the sky, but I quite like the effect, and yeah, I'm just going to keep printing. I'm probably going to do about 15, I think, of the first layer, and then I'll go and engrave the second. I'm just removing the sky so that when I print the next colour, the sky stays blue. I'm very pleased I did go and print in the car actually, because as I was printing it started to rain a bit, which I hadn't expected, and it wasn't forecast, so I'm pleased that I wasn't stuck outside with loads of bits of paper that were getting wet. So I've just removed the sky. I'm not going to take any more away because I don't actually think I want any blue in the actual landscape itself, so I'm going to go print a yellow ochre next. I've realised where the ink is picking up on the block where I don't want it to print. I need to cover it. So normally I'd attach a bit of paper to this part, but I didn't bring any tape, so I'm going to have to just balance it there each time I print it. Normally in the studio I'd be really picky about patchy areas like that in a print, but when I'm outside let all that go and just kind of continue. It's about 1 o'clock, so I've probably got 3 hours left till I need to leave because it will be getting dark, and then I'm heading back up to Gloucestershire later. So you just kind of have to keep going forward, which is what's nice about working outside. It doesn't leave you much time to be fussy about your work and be a perfectionist, which is what I normally am when I'm back in the studio. There's a really dramatic grey-blue behind the hill now, but as it's printmaking and I've already done the first layer, there's no going back. I'm going to take some pictures in case I want to use it for reference. So with reduction printing, the colour I last printed is the one I'm thinking about. So I've just printed the yellow ochre colour. So what I'm taking away is the colour that will stay yellow ochre. The areas I'm leaving, that will print a reddy ochre colour that I'm going to print next. I think I'm going to just print 2 more layers just because I could be here all day trying to add all the colours in, and I think I need to be a bit selective. I would have liked to add in a green, I think, but I'm going to go with, a nice warm rusty red and then a cold grey greeny blue colour. And as it's going to print backwards because I'm working from life, so everything I print will be the opposite to what I'm seeing, I never try and make it perfect, like an actual representation of the view in front of me. I concentrate on the weather, the colours, the shapes, and just work a bit more freely than I would if I was working from a photograph. And the tool I'm using is a multiple line tool, which is my favourite one to use. This one has 4 parallel lines. It's fun to use and also it's quite quick because it covers a bigger surface area than if you were doing it a line at a time. I either will have or I'm about to release a video on the tools I use, and if it's out already I'll link it at the end of this video. I need to add some more yellow ochre because that's gone like a red wine colour, which is not what I'm after. It's sometimes hard to dilute dark colours, so I'm going to remove quite a lot of that. Yeah, that's more like the kind of burnt, brackeny red colour that I'm after. The first one I printed was too dark. I just don't like that red with that green. And then the next one was too light. And then there were 2 more that were similar, and then now I'm on this one. So I'm just removing the bits I want to stay, that red colour I just printed. And then I'll print the last colour. And then I'll be done, hopefully. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for how this is going to turn out. I just haven't felt quite, I don't know, in the mood for doing this today, but I thought I can't miss this opportunity of a nice day in January while I'm in Devon. I've mixed a nice bluey grey colour and I'm just printing the final layer. So at this stage I'm hand burnishing the prints because there's so much ink on the paper, it's really wet, and the pressure of the press is too much. Like, it almost pulls the ink back off the paper onto the block, and I find using the bone folder instead at this stage is really helpful. So here is the finished print. I haven't got many of them. I made so many mistakes today, just forgetting to mask off the sky and things like that. So a little bit disappointing in terms of how many I've got, but I think it portrays Dartmoor as I see it today, like with the sun, but it's still like wintry and the colours and things. So in that respect, I'm pleased with it. So I'm going to have some lunch, even though it's quite late now, and give Winnie a proper walk, because we've just been walking to and from the same spot all day and she's just so confused. So we're almost ready to go home. I've just had some soup and then we're going to climb to the top of Hound Tor, seeing as we spent the whole day at the bottom of it. I find printing outside like exciting and also really frustrating. You just don't have the control that you have in the studio, which is part of the fun, but also if you're a perfectionist like me, it's hard to feel like you've achieved when you're not that happy with the result. But anyway, I've learnt things. Winnie's had a nice time. I've had a nice time. And yeah, I'm going to be working outside a bit more over the next 2 months, just because I've kind of promised myself that before I get back into doing print releases and things from March. So hopefully there'll be some more videos like this. And I've got a 2-week residency coming up as well, so there'll be lots of creations there, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see more. And I'll just leave you with some footage of Dartmoor as the sun goes down.